Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Thank you guys. Can you guys hear me now? No? Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Myra. Hi, Myra. Okay, awesome. My mic was off. That was the first thing I was supposed to turn on when I came. And there's an echo. It's echoey. Okay, that's wrong. Oh, that's what I did. I turned on the echo instead of turning on the mic. Better now? Is there still an echo? Yeah. Okay, so weird. Okay, thank you, Kim. Oh, tech. I think the newsletter I'm gonna write this for Sunday is gonna be about dealing with like the chaos of tech this week and the lessons that I have learned. Thank you guys through tech issues I have had. So I appreciate you guys. So I'm gonna jump in so I don't waste any more time with my tech issues. Today I'm gonna walk you through. Let me pull up my slides. The quickest way to help you reach your 2025 goals. We're going to be discussing what's really getting in the way of your success and how to fix it. So we're going to do two things. We're going to talk about the phases in the journey to efficiently reach your goals, because once you understand those phases, it's much easier to kind of see what's getting in the way. And then also we're going to talk about the key pieces that are going to help you reach your goals faster and easier by the end of the year that I teach. Again, you're going to be rating yourself so you can see like what's the number one priority of what's getting in your way, obviously, so you can fix it and finish the year strong. Okay, so let's dive in to that. So I think my next slide is just going over those two things. Yeah, the success phases. What are the phases of the journey, and then the keys to efficiently reaching success, so you can kind of rate yourself along the way. I'm giving lots of examples too, so you can kind of see clearly what I'm saying for each thing that I'm prescribing for these steps and apply it to your own life. All right. So I am going to switch to my iPad. So let me do a full screen so you guys can see it fully. So we can kind of go through the journey. So I call this my life optimization pyramid, which you may have seen before, but we're going to go into it as it relates to finishing the year strong today. So let's see here. This is my... Okay. So the first phase that you kind of go through before we get optimized and reaching our goals most efficiently is where I meet a lot of women in the stage of survival mode. And this is like push through, bringing your laptop to bed, doing kind of whatever it takes to meet your goals, but you're kind of just all over the place. And instead of feeling like you're flourishing in life, you're just kind of surviving in life. So that's the first stage. And so I call this stage duct tape and push through. You kind of have duct tape systems and tools, and everything is kind of haphazardly stitched together, and you're using a lot of push through to get through life. So to explain this, these phases, I use the analogy of like getting your home in order. So this is going to be our metaphor on this side to help you understand. And this is kind of like, if you ever watch that Hoarders show, it's like when the person needs an intervention. Okay, so that's usually where I'm meeting people. I want to bring you guys through these other stages. The next stage that usually people get to is they start saying, okay, well, I need to, be more efficient if I'm going to reach my goals quickly, if I'm going to get my life together. What can I do? And sorry, I'm looking at the chat too, so I'm getting myself distracted. They have tools, but their life is still a mess. Okay, and I call this stage DIY chaos. So it's a little bit better than survival mode because you know you need help and you're starting to take actions like starting to access some tools. Maybe you get a planner, maybe you start downloading some productivity apps, maybe you start using a project management software. You have some tools that you're trying to, grasp back to get your life together. But in the end, it's in our metaphor, it's still kind of like when you just buy a lot of bins to fix your life, when you're trying to organize your home, but you don't have the systems in place, you don't have the habits and routines to actually, keep that going or even know where to start with all these organizational tools. Same thing for us, productivity tools, organization tools, but you don't have the structure behind to actually use them efficiently. So I want us to keep going. And then the next thing that happens that is actually in the green, you start having the foundation for an organized and productive life. And this is when you start building systems and structure in your life. And this is in our analogy when you finally have home peace, when you have those systems and structure. Same thing for us when it comes to reaching our goals. When we have in the background the foundation of organization and productivity, we're able to go after our goals, not only reach them faster and easier, but enjoy the journey to get there. There is another step that I like to, optimize towards when I'm working with folks. And that's to get you to this next level, which is living on purpose. And it's really where you're using those systems and that structure to be supported in your genius zone. And you can think of this in our analogy like a smart home. So if you had a home that not only with systems and structure, but also like added support to really allow you to live in your genius zone, and you have everything else in the background kind of lifting you up and supporting you along the way. So this is the journey I've been taking women through for years now. And I want to show you guys a couple of places that people get stuck and how to diagnose it for yourself so you can fix it and reach your goals faster and easier. And again, some of you maybe have seen the next thing I'm going to show, but I'm going to give a lot more examples and tools for each one and help you really understand, is this your problem area and where you maybe need to fix it. Camille says she's in the DIY chaos. Okay. Yes, I meet a lot of women there. Will we have access to the replay? Yes, I will be emailing the replay after the link to the replay after the live workshop. If you sign up for the workshop, you'll get the resources I'm going to mention as we move on, and you'll also get the replay link. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off because my pen is on one link there. Let me go back to my slides. All right, and add myself. There we go. Awesome. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So we just went over. So I do, before we dive in there, if you have seen this pyramid before and you've seen enough, if you know you would want support moving through that, I have opened up my Systemize Your Goals Accelerator. I opened it to the wait list folks and people on my email list first. This week we started meeting together, started meeting with lots of women. Now I'm opening it to the public. The link is in the description below if you're interested in working with me. I opened up spots. I have 20 spots available. Obviously, some of those spots have already been taken this week. So even if you are a little bit curious about working with me directly, I would say just apply, book a call. We can decide on the call if it's good or not. You can see if it's a good fit for you. But at least if it is, you'll have that spot guaranteed. Okay, now we're going to get started. I just wanted to offer you that. Oh, also, before we get started, you're going to use your workbook that was sent to you. So when you signed up, I sent you a link initially that had the link for the resource page. That's where you're going to get the workbook that you can use to go through what I'm about to teach, or if you want to use it as you're going through the replay. Also, if you don't have the workbook with you or you can't find the link, don't worry. After the workshop, I'll tell you how to get my Success Systems checklist. That's going to reiterate a lot of things I'm talking about today too. Just make sure you're signed up for the official workshop in the link description to get that. So if you do have access to it, you can use that workbook as we're going through. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through my impossible to fail framework. Okay, so in this bottom level, essentially are the systems that we're going to talk about first. This is my impossible to fail framework. It uses all evidence-based psychology on achievement psychology to reach your goals faster and easier. The first thing we're going to talk about are systems. Okay. So before we do that, I want you in your mind, if you will, indulge me, to think about a teepee. So if you've ever seen a teepee up close, it looks amazing. It has woven fabric, a beautiful design, a sacred creation, really. But here's the thing. It only works because of those long sticks that are at the top tied together. So no matter how gorgeous the outside is, without those sticks, the whole thing really collapses. And that's exactly what systems do for our life. They're the quiet structure that lifts our genius off the ground. So these systems, they give it shape, they give us purpose, just like in the sticks and the teepee. They make it stand tall and actually work. And your ideas, your talent, your effort, that's your fabric in this analogy. But systems are the poles. Those are those sticks. Without them, your work kind of lays flat, in my experience of working with women. And with them, everything lifts into something useful, something people can walk into, benefit from, and even gather inside. So you might be the colorful fabric full of genius and power, like the fabric of a teepee, but without systems, you're just kind of a brilliant blanket lying on the ground. So you don't need to work harder. You need better poles and better structure. So let's start at the center of it all. And that's our dream life. So I'm going to add this stage here. Okay, so when I say dream life, it could be a little bit vague when we talk about like what we're actually working towards. So I want to talk about that a little bit so we can be on the same page. And I think it is going to help you as you think about finishing the year strong and being more intentional about that, about what you're actually working towards. So what's really the goal in thinking about your dream life? So here's what I mean for this. I believe that God gives us our gifts and our goals. And if you don't like this term, you can say your higher power, the universe. I use the term God. God gives us our gifts and our goals, and it's our job to get a different color. Accept our gifts and achieve our goals in order to be a blessing when we are accepting our gifts and using our gifts, and to be a testimony when we are achieving our goals. And in the end, it's all glorifying God. So when I'm talking about our dream life, I mean accepting our gifts to help others, to give back, to change the world. That's how we're being a blessing. And we are also achieving these goals, these desires that God places on our hearts so that we have success in the form of legacy, freedom, financial abundance, so that we can be a testimony. And essentially, it all works together in the sense that um, when we do something called esteemable acts to achieve our goals, that's what builds the confidence to accept our gifts and in turn achieve our goals. Same thing goes here when it comes to achieve. Oops. Our gifts are our offerings. By many times we achieve our goals. So your skills, your talents, all those gifts that God gives you are actually going to help you achieve your goals and in turn create that impact that you're looking for in the world. So it all works together. So when I go to this next point, my flourishing productivity model, the center of it, as you'll see, is this dream life. And I've been able to achieve my dream life by really going from a burned out hustler to an efficient goal getter. I went from working multiple jobs to getting my PhD, creating a successful business, having a loving marriage and family life. And I do all of this now by finishing work by 2:30 because I got to pick up my baby who started kindergarten, and also maintaining my mental health and creating impact for other women. So it is possible to do, but I only have that because I have the structures behind me to support me. So in your own journey to become an efficient goal getter using systems, you're going to know that you reach this dream life by 4 things. So I'm going to go a little bit closer so you can actually see this here. So 4 things will be true when you have this diamond in the center, your dream life, that I've found. You'll do less. Ooh, let's go back. You'll do less. Sorry, that's going to bother me, guys, but achieve more. Okay, that's 1. You'll have consistent productivity. You'll be building meaningful momentum. And you'll have a refined vision. Okay. So let me ask you, how does this connect with you right now? Are you open to a quantum leap, really, to make your dreams a reality? I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you feel ready for this sort of dream life and the 4 things that I just talked about in order to know that it's actually coming true. Basically, I want you to just claim it right now that that's what we're working towards, a more intentional version of a valuable life. So put a 1 in the chat if that resonates with you so I can know we're on the same page. And then I'll keep going. Yay. Thank you, Marlene. That's why you're here. Awesome. Awesome. So we're good. Okay. So here's the thing. There's 4 problems that I usually see I run into when working with ambitious women as they try to reach their goals and achieve this dream life. Yes, they have the ambition. They are in line with wanting to achieve these things. We're on the same page about doing it intentionally, but there's usually 4 things that get in the way that I have developed systems for, and I want you to see if any of these things is where you could use help. So the first thing is feeling scattered. Kind of feeling all over the place, feeling like they're just spinning in the middle of their life and they're juggling a lot of plates, maybe lack of focus, all those sorts of things. The second one is they're disorganized. Either because they're not naturally an organized person like myself, or just because life is so scattered, it leads to them to being disorganized and kind of all over the place. That could be disorganized in their home, disorganized in their time, their to-do lists, in their business or at work, all those sorts of things. I also run into a lot of women that are just depleted. So it's not that they're unmotivated when I dig deeper, if they even describe themselves that way. It's that they're burnt out. So from being scattered, from being disorganized, all the mental clutter, juggling all the roles, all the things that they've put on their plate, it's led them to essentially being burned out, exhausted, depleted. This can also look like, if you don't identify with that, or might be under the surface. As a psychologist, I know burnout is just another work term for anxiety, exhaustion. It may look like your home is a mess, and underneath it, it may be just a low grade or a high functioning type of depression. So all that is burnout. And then the last thing that I've noticed is feeling stuck. So a lot of the women that are attracted to me, which I'm finding out in my calls this week, already have a level of success. They've either graduated or they're in a career or they've started their business, but they're feeling stuck. Like, is this all there is for me? How do I get to that next level? I don't want to dim my light or feel like I am not fully reaching my potential. So scattered, disorganized, depleted, and stuck are the things that these systems are going to help you address. Okay. So now let's talk about the solutions. When it comes to being scattered and unfocused, we want systems that are going to help you streamline. So to get you focused, so we can use your energy to its best and instead of having it dispersed. So if you think about putting your energy and your efforts into a funnel, and really honing them so that they are used to their most advantage. That's what this first system is going to do. And we're going to do that with a goal system. Okay. And that's really going to help us have unstoppable focus. All right. Then we also, to help us to address the disorganized, we're going to get you automated. The more that we can put things on autopilot, the easier it's going to be when life starts happening to be able to have a structure behind you to support you. And we do that with an organization system. And our organization system is going to help you have automated success. All right, then to address feeling depleted, I want to get you into a flow state, both in your everyday life, as you work, like within your workflow, having a flow state, but also just in general in your life, being more in a flow. And we do that with a productivity system. And what this gives you is consistent productivity. And then the last thing, we're going to take you from stuck to evolving, because I believe that we are always becoming. It's really about the journey, not the destination. And we do that with a reinvention system here. And that helps us with optimized becoming. So when we've got this unstoppable focus, this automated success, this consistent productivity, and this optimized becoming, everything's going to get easier and your dream life happens much faster and you're able to enjoy the journey to get there. So let's dive into the the actual how to do these systems, how to create them for yourself so you can have a simple recipe. And like I said, you can write this out in the workbook and that I provided, that this flower is inside of there, or my success systems checklist is going to be on the resource page, which you'll get a link to as when you sign up, but I'm going to send it after as well if you sign up for the workshop. So let me walk you through this. And the most important thing, guys, is not just to learn these systems, actually about being able to apply it to your own life. So, for each one of these things, whether you're writing in the workbook or you're just taking notes, I want you to rate yourself like a traffic light for each one of these things that we talk about. So, green is doing great. You have this in your life already, it's going well for you. Yellow is you have it, but it could use some improvement. And then red is a real problem. Either you don't have it or it's just like completely chaotic. And it's not an exercise of judgment. It's really an exercise to get really clear on your next step so you can finish the year strong by fixing that thing. I will remind you to rate yourself, but just be thinking about your own life as you're learning this, not just learning it. So let's start with the goal system to streamline. That's going to help you go from scattered to this unstoppable focus. So Zig Ziglar, I don't know if we have any Zig Ziglar fans here, but he said that you can't hit a target you cannot see, and you cannot see a target you don't have. And that's the problem that many of us are facing. You're setting goals in the wrong way in the first place. So I teach, if you watch my channel, setting goals using achievement psychology. So I've been researching and coaching women using achievement psychology for over a decade. And I teach my clients a way to create a vision to set goals using evidence-based psychology. And that's this first part of your goal system here, which is clarity. To develop a vision and set your goals in a way that's evidence-based. So for our example, to help make this clear, I had this really great client in my previous program, Dream Life Academy, and she did a really, really great job with this. So when she came to me, she was hustling backwards, grabbing at straws, busy for busy's sake. And I took her through my clarity system at the time as part of my Dream Life Academy and helped her stop playing small and get really, really clear on her vision and create goals that were motivating in and of themselves. So she went from living her life for others, namely her mother, to getting her, she even got her graduate degree and went to school for other people based on what she should be doing, to really getting clear on what she wants, her intentions, her own values, and things that maybe she was scared to achieve, like publishing a book or writing a book. So I reached out to her to see if I could use her as an example. And she had let me know that she actually had just published her second book. And so it was really clear through our work together that just getting clear on her vision and where she really wanted to go for herself was going to be helpful to help her reach her goals faster and even get in the right lane in the first place. So getting really clear using techniques that are proven is the first one. So rate yourself on clarity. When you think about your own vision and your big picture goals, do you have absolute clarity on where you're going and a proven way to set goals to get there? So green, yellow, red. The second big thing I teach for my goal system is something most productivity gurus leave out, and that's strategy. And I'm really excited about the updates that I have in Systemize Your Goals Accelerator when it comes to developing a strategy based on your vision. So most people go straight from their vision to planning, but there's a crucial in-between piece, and that's a winning strategy. So you need to devise a strategy before setting out a plan. It's really the bridge between your goals and your vision and your to-do list, that in between that unfortunately most people don't have is an effective strategy to get there. How are you going to get there fastest and easiest and in a proven way? So I worked with a client named Leah, and she's a mom and wife. She has an online business and makes a lot of content for moms. And she came to me as what I call a manic hustler. She was doing all the things. She was vlogging. She was on Instagram. She was doing affiliate marketing, sponsored deals. She had her own products. She was just juggling a lot, and it was really important for her to bring in income for her family, because it was a lot of pressure for not only her husband to be the main breadwinner, but for her to also, her business not to be a hobby essentially, and also bring in income. So one of the main things we worked on was getting a really good strategy. And actually, once we developed it, it was important for her a large part of her strategy was actually doing less. So I helped her decide what was going to be the most effective way to get to her vision and preserve her energy and her time. And even just putting it on paper, her strategy, I could see over Zoom what a relief it was to have like a clear cut way that she was going to achieve her goals and not spread herself thin and actually get time back in her schedule. She recently just let me know she's hitting 10K months in her business doing less. And I really believe a big piece of our work together was her strategy. So when it comes to your goals, I want you to rate yourself. Have you actually sat down and devised a strategy to hit these goals in an efficient and streamlined way? Red, yellow, or green? But how to get there, not so much. Okay. That could be a good place to look at. And then thirdly here is our reverse goal planning. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I'm going into it a lot next week in session 2 of our workshop. But this is where you're going to do all your 12-week year strategies to take your vision and your strategy and develop a tangible plan to actually get there using sprints. So rate yourself on that one as well. When it comes to reverse goal planning, do you have a system in place to take those larger goals and then break them down into milestones in a way that you can achieve your success much quicker? For me, just a quick example, the 12-week year has radically changed my life. Not to be, dramatic. I know people overuse that term, but it's really true for me. I think I started using it over 6 years ago. It's helped me grow my side hustle to my main business, helped me heal my gut. I've used it to lose weight, grow my YouTube channel, all in record time using this framework. So you probably know I love this. I love this strategy that using the reverse goal planning with the 12-week year. Okay, so we're going to move on for time's sake to the next one, which is going to be in our automate system here, which the first one is going to be your task management system. So if someone were to ask you what's going on in your life, do you have a system that you could just hand over to them and it would lay it all out for you? And you wouldn't even have to say a word. So that's what a really great task management system does. A lot of you guys know I use my Productive Boss Notion system for this, but this is just a tool. So in my Systemize Your Goals Accelerator, I teach how to create this system no matter what tool that you use and the actual behaviors to make this task management system actually work for you. So think about that question. Do you have something that you could just hand over without saying a word that would explain everything you have going on in your life? Then rate yourself red, yellow, and green. The next system I want you to have to automate your life to get rid of disorganization is a time and energy management system. Okay. A lot of you guys know that I use my 3-7 time blocking method. Some of you guys might be using it yourself. This is something I created out of a need to balance my time and my energy as a busy mom, a wife, and entrepreneur. I knew I needed a way to create balance to juggle all the things that I had going on in my life. So that's how this evolved. I did a deep dive of research into ways to come up with a time blocking method that was helpful in a time management system. And the 3-7 time blocking method is part of that system. It's not the entire system, but it's a major part of that. It helped me show up as a present mom, a happy wife, and how I want to be while also achieving my business goals that I have. So rate yourself. When it comes to systems to manage your time and manage your energy, do you have that dialed in? Do you feel like you have it dialed in when it comes to actually managing your schedule, your calendar, and your day-to-day routines? Red, yellow, green. Okay, the next system I want you to have is, if you're a business owner, is going to be business organization system. And if you're have a career, you don't own a business, a system to organize your career workflow. So business or career organization systems. Because I'm a business owner, I focus on business operating system, and many of the women that I've worked with are either have a business on the side or working full time in a business. So I teach a lot of that, but I also teach how to create workflows and organization within your career to automate that as well. If you use Notion, you can get my Productive Boss Notion system. In this, my Systemize Your Goals Accelerator, you'll get that for free. And again, I also teach you how to use any other system if Notion is not your jam. But you want to have a way that you think about everything that you have to do when it comes to your role and your profession, and how do you have that organized in a centralized place. So I had another client, Camille, who I've talked about before. She's been an entrepreneur for over 10 years, and she knew she was capable of growing her business more, but her business was just chaotic. In our work together, it was really about creating business systems to allow her to have the structure in the background so she could tap into her genius. And it helped tremendously. She was able to start creating consistent content, which was a big piece of her marketing, show up more consistently, get more clients, and break through revenue ceilings that she was trying to hit. So I want you to rate yourself again. Do you have systems in either your business or in your career that help you be more organized or more efficient in your work so that you can actually tap into your genius? Red, yellow, green. Somebody put a blue. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to move into the third one, which is consistent productivity with our productivity system. So I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker. This is our discipline. And consistency is part of our productivity consistency system. Being grounded. So you can think about home management here and self-care. And joy, prioritizing your joy essentially. Because I really believe, as you likely know, it's about enjoying the journey. So your discipline system is going to be things like creating systems to help you with burnout recovery, a wind-up work routine, a productivity workflow, so that when you're actually working, you have routines to stay focused, to stay motivated, to stay consistent. Then when it comes to being grounded, like I said, that's your home management system, because if you can have a peaceful home, however you define that, that's really going to be the foundation of your productivity, taking care of you and your family's home life. And then a system to prioritize your joy. Like I said, for a lot of us really ambitious women, sometimes that can take a back burner and we don't even realize that it's contributing or slowing us down. So now let's talk. Well, first rate yourself on that one, on the ones within here. Discipline, feeling grounded, and prioritizing your joy. For each one of those, are you red, yellow, or green? When I say that, I mean, do you have systems to help support you in those things? While you're rating yourself, I'll just tell my own story, because as an ambitious woman, type A person, I should say, more than just being ambitious, it's really easy for me to focus on goals and getting things done. But I also struggle with anxiety and I have OCD. So I do have mental health considerations that sometimes get in the way of my productivity. So taking care of myself is the number one priority. I'm also a wife, a mom, and my family is a big priority for me, taking care of them, taking care of our home. And so when those things are in order, it really allows me to be more productive. So this pillar of really creating a flow system has helped me have consistent productivity. I know it's not at the forefront of most type A folks like myself, but it is really the foundation. And for me, it's helped me go from a burned out hustler to an efficient goal getter. All right. So let's move on to this last pedal and talk about our reinvention system. So when I think about reinventing, I don't like to think about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think there's so many strengths that have got you this far, and we're going to capitalize on those, not just throw them out. So it involves reflection, optimization. So like I said, all your strength, resilience, skills, gifts, capitalizing on those, and then letting go or shedding the things that are no longer serving you, like poor boundaries or poor work-life balance or whatever the things that you know you need to shed to move to the next level, maybe limiting beliefs. And then also dreaming bigger, not dimming your light. So for your reinvention system as a whole, do you have a process? Do you have a system that helps you continuously to up level and continue to grow so that you don't get stuck? Rate yourself a red, yellow, or green. So my example for this one is a client I had, Maya. She was actually my first client in my Systemize Your Goals accountability coaching. She may be here today, I'm not sure. She was successful on paper. She had good income, growing her business, beautiful family, but she told me she feels like, I feel like I'm repeating the same year on a loop. And when we started our work together, we found out that her systems were really outdated and they basically reflected who she used to be. So we worked together to realign her with systems with who she was becoming, who she was reinventing herself to be. And once we did that, to kind of shift to wanting to achieve more and how she was reinventing herself, her excitement came back. She was more motivated. She felt fresh and she felt like she had a little bit more sparkle. So that's a really good example of how that reinvention system can help you just refuel yourself. So again, like I said, rate yourself. Now, these are all the systems. Let me highlight them in something so you guys can, I've drawn a lot, see them, the main ones. I want you to look at your flower, your notes, and I want you to circle your 3 biggest problems. Let me know in the comments what those are. Those are going to be your main focus, starting with number 1, so you don't overwhelm yourself, that you're going to work on to reach your goals by the end of the year. Your 3 biggest problems. If you don't mind sharing, share them in the comments. Okay, I'm going to shift back to seeing me while it's, hopefully somebody adds theirs. And like I said, if you want to know, let me bring myself back here, more about working with me to help you reach these goals faster and easier using these systems, I have opened up spots in my Systemize Your Goals Accelerator. The link is in the description below if you want to consider it. Let me remove this. Add this back. I just went through that. Okay, so those are the systems. Those are the bottom level of my, I don't like that, of my impossible to fail method. And just so you know, I don't just teach you these systems and send you off into the world. This framework of the systems is just the base level, having the knowledge to learn these proven methods. The other layers, which I'm going to go into, are really how you're going to implement them into your life. So let me, I think, show you that now. Yeah, actually, let me bring you back. Hold on one sec. Okay, yeah, here we are. All right, so I was moving on to next week. Let me write this. Hopefully my pen doesn't die out on us here. All right, so systems is the base layer, and that's what I've been teaching in my my older course, or my most recent one, Systemize Your Goals. The reason I changed it into an accelerator was because I found that these 3 things that I added to the accelerator help you with the actual implementation of what you're learning and sticking with it. Now you can do these with me if you choose to look at Systemize Your Goals Accelerator, or you can find them in your own life. So I'm going to share them because either way, they can help you make it impossible to fail. Okay, let me go back to green. All right, so all of these are based on research and evidence-based ways to reach your goals faster and easier. As you probably know, I'm a neuropsychologist. I value the research. I don't want to waste my time. So all of these are evidence-based. The first one is personalization. So what I found with just selling the course on demand was that I wasn't able to personalize it for each person taking the course. Now I do that with one-to-one mentorship inside my accelerator. So whether that's with me or someone else, that's going to help you really get a tailored strategy. So there's lots of research on mentorship and how it can help you reach your goals faster, specifically because it's tailored strategy to your personal needs. So having a mentor help you find your blind spots and tailor these, in our case, systems to your life is going to help you reach your goals faster. And the next one is to address the fact that solitude really kills success. And in order to really follow through, there's something that the evidence is really clear on, and that's accountability. And that's because of, due to human nature, when we have someone to answer to, and there's a lot of bias, and I go into it in my Impossible to Fail PDF if you have that. Once we make a commitment to someone, it makes us more likely to follow through and actually increases our chances of success for any particular goal by 95%. So it's really baked into our nature as human beings. I do this with a weekly accountability meeting in the accelerator and co-working, but it's really about having a set meeting each week. That's the 95% statistic, is actually having a meeting about accountability to have someone to answer to. And it's not, again, shame-based. It's more to help you see your blind spots, troubleshoot what's not working, and to also track. So that's the second piece. And then the third piece helps you not rise alone, so you can rise with community. Lots of evidence to support community. In my accelerator, we do this with the peer support in the program, so that you rise together. Just being with like-minded folks, if you can find community, has been proven to so if you're already signed up for the workshop, you will get the link to the resources again after the workshop is over, but you also received it in your initial email when you signed up. If you just search for that and click the button, it's on that resource page. But yeah, community and peer support, lots of research behind that. Just being with like-minded folks, it's going to help you reach your goals faster and easier. And that is really my Impossible to Fail method. So for those of you that are interested in potentially letting me be a part of your journey, I hope it's okay. Is it okay if I share a little bit about what it would look like to work with me? No problem. Toby, totally understand. As a closer, you probably have an idea of it being a sales call. It's really not a sales call. It's a clarity call, because I have a really distinct person I want to work with, personalities I want to work with. So even to get to the point of sharing that information, I want to meet people first. I'm only taking 20 people, and it's really just to get clear. Anyone that maybe has been on a call with me this week can hopefully put in the comments that it's definitely not a pressured situation, not a sales situation at all. Even though maybe you've been on similar calls like that before or have experience doing those. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. So, okay, so for folks thinking maybe that they don't have time, I do have a bonus that might be helpful for you guys that are feeling like, will I have the time to actually do this, to create these systems, or feeling like intimidated about the time it may take to create these systems. It's this 10 hours back blueprint. It is a bonus that is for the first 20 women that join. I'm going to teach you how to get 10 extra hours back in your week within the first week of joining. And we're going to work together personally to get you those hours back. So that's something that can help you if that's something that you're considering. That is the first bonus. I think I have the other bonuses in here too. Oh, before that, you should know for my folks that are current students or you have purchased my Systemize Your Goals in the past, you will get a credit towards your accelerator membership for the Systemize Your Goals course that you also already purchased, in addition to obviously all the updates to the course. And secondly, if you have my Production Boss Notion system, since it is something that I offer as a bonus for the accelerator, you're oh no, sorry guys, I have no idea what just happened there. Maybe it's my internet. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me pull back up my slides. Thanks a lot. Just go back. Okay. So this is the Productive Boss Notion bundle. Sorry for the changes. When I had to add my my slides on StreamYard, I had to add them through Google Slides, and I created my slides on Canva, so some of the formatting is a little wonky. Again, I have just been having crazy tech issues this week. But my Productive Boss Notion template, if you're interested in learning Notion, I will walk you, hold your hand through it. If you already are using Notion, same thing. But this is going to be a plug and play system, so you don't have to worry about building anything. So it's the exact same digital command center that I use to run my business and manage my life without dropping the ball. It isn't a collection of pretty templates. It's really an organization ecosystem. Everything is interconnected and done for you, designed to help you seamlessly organize your life and your career and business and your home. So it comes with, it uses the Second Brain system, I guess, and then it also comes with lots of individual templates and within that are interconnected, like my 12-week year template, habits and routines template, my business hub template, and home management template. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other things that it comes with as well. So just to recap, if you're interested in applying to Systemize Your Goals Accelerator, you're going to learn my proven systems at the bottom here. You're going to get personalized one-to-one mentorship with me through one-to-one calls. You're going to get also accountability through our weekly accountability groups. You're also going to get co-working sessions. You're also going to get my quarterly sorry, I'm going to take questions at the end, so I don't want to keep distracting myself. You're also going to get quarterly workshops that I'm going to be giving for free. They will be free for anyone in the accelerator. And then obviously all the community and being able to get on-demand support as you're building all your systems. So link is in the description. If you're interested, happy to answer any questions about that. Before we wrap up, before I go to my last slide, let me take a look at questions. Put any questions you have about these systems or implementing them or my accelerator in the chat. Let me kind of scroll up. a little bit. Okay, I spoke to Toby. You're putting in, okay. Goal, organization, productivity, streamline organization. Okay, awesome. I answered Echo. Okay, Gloria, just click apply. Make sure you tell me, I'll recognize your name, but just tell me when we talk on the call that you have systemized your goals, and I'll be sure to make sure I give you that credit. Thank you, Zimchisita. Okay, people are telling me I'm back. Camille sounds like a good program. Hope you can book a call. Disappear. Thank you. Okay, I hope I'm back. Awesome. Okay, so let me tell you guys, I don't see any other questions. Let me tell you guys about next week. So there's not a cost Iphigenia for that call. That call is just for us to kind of get clear on if I can actually help you, if you would be a good fit to work together, and then to give you the more details about the program, if you are a good fit. No problem. Okay. So next we're going to be diving deeper into specifics and tactics to reach your goals faster. Today you can think of like an overview of knowing like what you need to work on most immediately to finish the year strong. Next week we're going to get more tactical. We're going to be talking about specifics about how to go harder in the last part of the year to reach those 2025 goals. I'm going to be sharing things I haven't shared in any videos before, not even my newsletter, I don't believe, which I share a lot of juicy extra stuff there. So I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to be really useful and tangible and practical. Again, at the end of this workshop, you will receive, let me make sure I'm on time. Good, because I have a call right after this. You will receive the resource page. You'll receive the replay link. So be sure to open that email that comes. Thank you so much, Living Metro Atlanta. Glad you like them. And hopefully I can see you next week. Some people were thinking I was going to say the same thing each week. No, it's going to be a different workshop each week. And next week, we're talking about the specific, like tactical things that you can do in the day-to-day to reach your goals by the end of the year. So I hope that you can join me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic, beautiful weekend, and namaste.